Hello guys, welcome to Mark Shrimp Tanks. Today we're going to be doing another video, and this one's going to be a crossbreeding video. And specifically guys, we are going to start a new tank, and we are going to put in two different types of shrimp, and we're going to be aiming for a shrimp that is kind of special, and I don't know if this is possible, but it's something that I was told to give a try, right? So today, right, we're going to go down to a tank down here, and we're going to use a Galaxy Fishbone, and we're going to try and cross it with a German spotted headed Pinto. So the reason we're going to do this cross is because the German spotted headed Pintos, I'll show you guys some images of that in a second. They have very large spots in the head, right? So we want to try and get those genetics into our Galaxy Fishbones. Right, so in theory this should help us try and make Galaxy boas. I'm not saying this will work, but it is going to be something that we're going to try today, I think. So what we have to do is we have to add some food to the tank. The date is the 22nd of the 2nd, and I'm telling you that guys as well because I think it's important that if we're going to document this, that we do it properly so you guys know in the future. If I show you young and I mention the date, you will be able to see videos from the past and get information from it. Okay, so let's get some food into the tanks. I'm probably going to use a little bit of nettle mix. I am streaming today, so I can't feed the tanks an awful lot. Guys, this is something I have to get out of doing as well, as feeding the tanks for videos and streams and stuff. I need to just feed the shrimp when they need food, and that's it regardless. Alright, so let's get some nettle mix. Let's get over to the tanks. I'll show you the shrimp as well before we move them to this middle tank, because that's all we're doing today guys, right? Is we're going to feed the tanks, we're going to select the shrimp, and we're going to move them to this tank down here. Okay, one momento. Alright, let's have a little look. We have a protein mix I went with today. Let's get this lid off. It's looking very nice. Get you over here into light guys, and we only need a couple of small bits. One, let me see, smaller the better. Two, let's get the food into the tank. We'll do the fishbone tank first. Let's go. Plop. We'll come back in a minute and there should be shrimp all over this. Let's go to this tank. This is the German spotted head Pintos. My god, I'm so bad at remembering the name of these ones. German spotted head Pintos, right? So these guys have the white bodies. Let's put the food in. Plop. As you can see, we have tons of babies in here, right? So the plan today, guys, is to take one of my female fishbones from this tank. Let's see if we can spot any of them. Female fishbones. That's the male that's in here. I only have one male. This is why I'm not going to remove this guy, because I only have one male. I do have other shrimp in here. I mean, these little ones are little galaxies as well, but it's very hard to tell what a shrimp's going to look like when it's small, especially when it's a galaxy. Right, so we'll give this a few seconds, and we'll come back and I'll show you which female will take out this tank. What we'll do guys is, I know I have like 2 or 3 females in here. We'll remove one of them that isn't buried, obviously, because I don't want to give myself more work with removing young that isn't from the crossing that we want to do. Look at these guys. Let's zoom in a little bit. Aren't they gorgeous? Little things. We'll need to do a culling here again already. I can already see there's a female on the left coming. Isn't she absolutely amazing? So that's what I want in this tank, guys, is more Galaxy Fishbones like this as well. So we'll try and get a good crossbreeding with other shrimp, and she'll return to this tank eventually someday. All of the young that you can see in here as well, a lot of them do need taken out actually. Like this little fella here doesn't have a backline, so this one should be out of the tank. Anything that's one of the things I'll do in this when I'm culling it in the future, is anything that doesn't have a backline will be removed, because they're just normal galaxies when you see them like this. Alright guys, let's go. We have our little dripping containers. This is all I'm going to use today for this stuff. Okay, so let's get our containers ready. We're going to use this little half-litre container for the first one. I can see a couple of nice fish bones here. Let's get some water out. We don't need so much water. Maybe a little bit more than that though, Mark. In you go, sir. Right, and then we're going to use the net. Like so. Right, and I'm going to spot one of these galaxy fish bones. Let me just zoom in a little bit for you here, guys. So you can see them because they're absolutely gorgeous. Right, I'm not going to pick the best one because there's a couple of really nice ones in here. I'm going to pick one that just has really nice markings. And I'm going to pick one that has just what we're looking for. It needs to be a fishbone, it needs to have a back line. Yeah, that one there must be one of the ones that's just grown up because it is. I don't think I've seen this one here before. It just goes to show. Let's see, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think it's going to be that one at the back there. I'm not going to pick the best one that I have in the tank. I think we're going to go for that one there. You see it? This one? Hopefully it's in focus. I don't think it can focus when the net's in the way, right? So let's get this done. Where did you go, sir? I need to make sure it is the shrimp before we pull it out. This one. Right, and guys, I'm just going to check for a second. Just going to hold the net here. We're going to look at its underbelly. I can see there that it's not buried. That is what we want. You see? Make sure it's not buried. It is definitely a girl. It's trying to get out through the tiny little gap there in the net. Right, let's get her out of here. Let's go. Turn around little shrimplet. Now normally, guys, this is where I would cover the net with my hand. I do apologise for that flickering. Make sure the shrimp is relaxed. Okay, so I'm just going to prop that here just for a second. Let the shrimp come out. And that is the first one done. We need to capture a male here. Now I'm going to look with my eyeballocks first before I dive in and go all gung-ho. I want to pick out a male. These are really gorgeous, aren't they? Right, so guys, specifically what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a male that has a lot of spots. The more spots the better. Right, and it needs to be a male obviously. So let's have a little look here. Let's have a little look. These are gorgeous, these shrimp, aren't they? Look how many babies they've had, guys. Let me just count the adults here because we did buy 10. There's 2 at the back I can see on the sponge filter. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, so none have died at all. Very, very good. This tank had one of the rare issues of mostly being all females, which is quite rare. In my fancy crystal tank at the top, it has the opposite problem, where it's like literally like one female in the entire tank. Like 20 shrimp, there's like 1 or 2 females, so it is what it is. You just have to bash on. Where's my net? And we need to pick a shrimp. And guys, we need to make sure this is a male, because if it's not a male, we will be wasting our time. Okay, so I can see one already that I think is a good candidate here. And it is that guy there. You see it? It has quite a lot of nice spots. The white is very nice. Although this stuff doesn't matter, really. The white and the red doesn't matter so much because we're looking for pattern. He has a lot of spots on his body. There's one here that you can see doesn't have so many spots, but I'm not sure how this would look in a cross, because there's a big patch here, there's nothing in it, right? So we want as many spots as possible. Let me see what else. This one here looks nice, but I can't tell if that is a male or not. Maybe I should wear my glasses a little bit more, but I can tell the other one is a male. So let's just have a little look. Decide. I think I've already chosen. Just want to make double sure, guys, here, because I don't want us to be wasting our time for months. Now this one on the left here has bigger spots. You see it? There has bigger spots. We're in no rush here. We're in no rush. It has like a couple of spots on its head as well. This fella here, you see it? I think this could be our candidate. Although it does have a big patch underneath it, there's nothing there. Is there anything else better? I don't think so. This one will do. This will be a good one. Let's try and not catch any of the babies here. Come on, little fellas. I'm pretty positive that that is a male. Isn't it, guys? Leave a comment in the comment section below and tell me what you think this is, if you could even see it. Let's hold this just for a second. We're in no rush. Double check the other shrimp in here. What are they like? Oh my god, guys, have you ever seen so many babies in a tank as this? Look at the gravel. It's like literally crawling. The babies right in the center of the screen. Crawling. Okay, so let's get this fella out of here. I'm just want to make sure, guys, before we go. 5 more seconds. Just want to look at all the shrimp. Is there no better male? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't think so. Let's get this fella here into his little container, right, and then we can start to drip it into its new home. We got our shrimp just ready to go. Let's have a little look in the tubs. They seem to be zoomed in an awful lot. Let me see. Let's get out again. And you can see how much I'm dripping here, guys. You can see the drips. 1, 2, 3. You can count them yourself, right? So this is how fast I like to drip. Right, these shrimp will be a little bit, what would you call it? A little bit stressed, just because you've moved them into a new environment. They'll be moving around all over the place, right? So guys, but what I suggest you do here is actually grab some plant from the tank and put it into the container as well, just to give them a little bit cover. They will go underneath and they will cling to it. Gives them a little bit more, I don't know, like security, I think, right? So we have some red root floater here. Doesn't matter if it has anything on it like this, you see? Plop it in. Like so, that's upside down, but it doesn't matter. Just to give them something to cling to. Wee clingy bar, I can't say that. You see, like this? Right, so they'll eventually just go onto the plant and cling to it. A little bit of comfort. Next thing we need to do here is, I need to mark this tank so I know when we put these shrimp in here, right? So I'm going to use this paint marker here. And the date is the 22nd of the 2nd, right? So I'm going to find a part in the tank where it's not in the way. Away over here. Let's see, 22nd of the 2nd. I won't add anything else. That's all the information I need. Now guys, normally I put the date on the tanks when I do a water change as well. So this is just so I know that it's not the same thing if I put it on the bottom. Okay. So all I will do now, guys, is these will drip for a few hours, depending on the TDS of this. Let's actually do it so you can see and know what I'm talking about here. I said TDS, right? I use EC. If you have a TDS pen, you can use that as well. And we have our little supply of water in our containers, right? So regardless of what it is inside these containers, guys, when you measure your EC or your TDS away up here, let's get a little reading for you just to give you an idea. What does that say? 298. So if this was TDS, it'd be about 150, right? Which is fine. Right, so this water that's filling up in these containers, the shrimp will not go into the tank until it is the same. Until it is the same. Right, so let's get a little mix in here. See what it is. This is 300 and something. I think this came from, yeah, it is the same. This one is the same, right? So this one won't be very long. This was the Galaxy tank on this side. This side was the German spotted head tank. Let's see what it says. See what the difference is in the reading. It says, you probably can't see that, but it says 248, right? So there's about 50 US Siemens difference here. There's about 25 parts per million difference in TDS, right? So this one will be dripping for, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours. And guys, that is all there is to it. Once the parts per million is the same in the containers, you put the shrimp in the tank. Let's have a little look at the tank. while we're here, we can talk about the tank. It is a 60 litre tank. It has a double sponge on one side, double sponge in the back, and a little modified filter with a pot mini on the back there. These pot minis will eventually be removed from the tank because I've changed to all air. I just haven't gotten around to doing it in some of these tanks like this. Thin layer of akadama on the bottom, some plants, some moss, some java fern. I think there's a little bit of nubius at the back there, salvia, hornwort. You get the gist, guys, right? So this tank gets 10% water change every week, depending on how these tanks go as well, guys. Like if I have no breeding in the tank, I will do a bigger water change. I'll do a 25% water change a week. But what's mega important here, guys, is that regardless of what size of water change you do, make sure that you drip the water back in. That is the key with keeping shrimp, right? As long as you drip the water back in, you will be fine. You won't get like the ring of death, you won't get failed molts, all that kind of stuff, right? So there you go. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed it today, in a little cross between our red German spotted head pintos and our Fishbones. Hopefully guys, we can get something that remotely looks like a boa. That would be absolutely amazing. And I want to thank George Cohn for telling me the cross. I don't know if it will work, but guys, it is worth it just to give it a try anyway. And we're documenting it for you guys to see as well, right? So guys, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next one. Happy shrimp game. Before I go, I just want to say thank you to everyone that supports us on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. I don't know what my shrimp keeping days would be like if I didn't have a shrimp farm to share with. Thank you.